So the PNG elective was organised by QRME as part of our final electives. We went there as students and we worked at the Kuinga Hospital, which is in Western Province.
Western Province is the largest province of the whole of Papua New Guinea. It's wild and remote, so probably kind of almost the equivalent of Western Australia here. Lots of land, not many people, not much infrastructure there.
There was this big disaster where the Octedi mine released all their silt from mining into the Octedi River.
They built their tailings dam, which is where they put all the leftover material from their wastes to stop the heavy metals from contaminating the environment. It got hit by an earthquake, which is very common in that area, and collapsed. It flooded the river and it filled it up with silt. It also got contaminated with lots of heavy metals,
which runs pretty much all the way down Western Province down to the ocean. And it's really affected the way people live. People can't fish as much, they can't use the river for their livelihoods and their food.
The Octedi mine was handed over to the Papua New Guinean people, and there was a huge fund was established that was earmarked for the development in the Western Province, and part of that development is healthcare development.
So these people have been so disadvantaged by this disaster that they need a lot of help in terms of healthcare, as well as a lot of other areas such as education, to get back on track with the rest of the country, which is why the Octedi Development Fund exists.
But because of its history of being very underdeveloped, it's also got some of the worst health outcomes, so that's why we're there. And Kuinga itself is a town halfway up the Fly River, which is the main thoroughfare for all the goods going up to the mine. It's largely a mining town in that it's the dock where everything is unloaded from the boats to get taken 100 k's up the road to Tabubal, where the main mine is. It's a small town, it's only got a couple of main streets. It's interesting, so it's on this giant river, the Fly River. I've never seen a river as big as that. I was at the mouth of it, and you can't see across it. It's hours to get across the river at the mouth, so it's amazing.
So the PNG elective was organised by QRME as part of our final electives. We went there as students and we worked at the Kuinga Hospital, which is in Western Province. As students, we were expected to take on a larger role than what we would have if we were here. We were exposed to quite a number of new and, shall I say, exciting diseases that we wouldn't have seen here.
So for me, international healthcare has always been an area that I've really enjoyed being involved. I like travel, I like different cultures. And so throughout my degree, I've been allowed to follow that as much as I wanted. And I guess this was a bit of a crowning glory for someone like me, that they allowed me to go over and explore and really participate and get involved in developing healthcare, which is an area that I really like.
You learn very quickly what a sick kid looks like, which kids can go home and which kids need to stay in hospital. And you can see some of the sickest kids recover really well.
Clinically, you're pretty much thrown to the deep end on the first day.
While we're in PNG, we saw conditions, we encountered clinical signs that I only ever thought I'd see in textbooks. We were a part of the team, we were involved in the treatment. I think the experience prepared me to be a better doctor.
I think one of the biggest positives is the opportunity to extend yourself, to practice working more as a doctor and less as a student, more as an active part of the team and less as a passive observer.
The opportunities are enormous, and I really felt like we weren't skilled in a lot of ways to address the issues that were there. So public health in a developing health system is a no-brainer. They always are going to need people there to help coordinate these big health systems. They're learning and we've got some experience, so I think there's room there.
I guess in terms of tough things, you can expect to see a lot of people dying because they haven't been able to access healthcare quickly enough. We had one lady present 12 hours after her membranes ruptured with twins, and both of them died. And we've also seen some really great outcomes. We've seen a lady who had a massive growth on her face have it removed and have a pretty good cosmetic outcome considering the conditions that she was operating in. And to see her face when she first saw her reflection was pretty incredible.
We delivered children in the middle of the night, which is always lovely, and they've got this nice tradition of often naming their kids after the person who delivered them. So there's a few Jacks over there, which is nice. When you tell people that you're thinking of going to Papua New Guinea, you'll get a universal answer, which is, are you insane? It's dangerous. And a lot of that is true in parts of Papua New Guinea. So Port Moresby has got a bad reputation. And the Highlands has a lot of intertribal violence, but you're nowhere near those areas.
You wouldn't go out in the valley in Brisbane at night by yourself, or in Surfers at night by yourself, and you wouldn't go out in Kiunga at night by yourself.
The things you have to worry about is overwhelming friendship. Like buying carrots at the markets can take 2 hours because everyone wants to shake your hand and say hello.
We made quite a number of friends there.
It's definitely worth going out on a patrol to see the rural lifestyle. It's really different from life in Kiunga, a really simple lifestyle.
I got to work with the emergency doctor who did cesareans and took out appendixes, treated babies, delivered children. It's a really varied experience, and people often have commuted for very long distances to get there, and they often present very late, so you can see really extreme manifestations of illnesses that it's good for your learning, but also very challenging as well, and a good experience for you to be able to deal with. So
there's a lot of malaria. You don't really believe it till you see it. It's kind of rewarding treating the malaria patients because you see them get better so quickly with the right treatment.
There's kids everywhere, and I got the privilege of being able to teach them to swim on the weekends and playing footy with them, and they're great fun, you know. And there's big cultural differences, and so you might get a bit homesick if you don't bring your own fun with you. But the administrator of the hospital, Graham Hill, is a saint amongst men. He is a lovely man, and he'll make you feel very welcome if you come over. And so he'll take you out and embrace you, and there is a local expat community that like to play trivia, and that's always good fun. Especially since it stokes your ego because a lot of it's very Australian focused, which gives you a bit of an unfair advantage over the Papua New Guineans. There's a pool to swim in, there's a golf course if you like golf. They love their sport, so if you bring footballs or if you play football or volleyball, you'll make friends very quickly.
So the PNG project was really well supported by QRME. We had a really great orientation program where we learned about language and culture in the area. We had someone go over with us for the first week, which really helped settle us in, and then we get to talk about everything afterwards and debrief and deal with any issues that we had.
Get ready. You'll do less than you think, but in the end it'll be more than you realise. So you will make a difference if you go, and you will learn a lot. But be ready, it's challenging.